Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the football field here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call as we begin our first football coverage of this 2018-2019 school year. The Milford Scarlet Hawks getting set to enjoy their home opener as they welcome in a rival from the Kelly Rex division in the Hockomock League, the Franklin Panthers. Again, very happy to get this football coverage underway as the Milford Scarlet Hawks are just about to take their home field for the first time, led by the middle school football teams. And so a lot of excitement here in the Milford football field as football returns here to the home of the Scarlet Hawks. Milford enters into competition here today with a record of 0-1. Franklin on the other side of the field, 1-0. And for Milford, they got their season started a week ago down in Attleboro, taking on the Bombardiers. That was an up-and-coming team in Attleboro, but not a lot was known about what their full potential was. But Milford got an up-close and personal look at it last week. A very tough, very physical Attleboro team. A lot of hard-nosed play at the line of scrimmage, a quality running attack, and a very good quarterback under center for Attleboro as well. It was a low-scoring game in the early minutes, but a key fumble on special teams for Milford opened the door for the first score of the game for Attleboro. They ultimately used their running game heavily in the second half. They were able to dominate time of possession. As a matter of fact, Milford was able to run just 3 plays on offense in the entire third quarter, as Attleboro was able to eventually jump out to a 21-0 lead. Milford was able to grab a touchdown in the closing minutes of the fourth quarter, scored by Lucas Rosa from short yardage. And that prevented the shutout loss, but Milford ultimately falling to Attleboro last week by a final score of 21-7. So coming into tonight, as I mentioned, 0-1. Franklin, on the other hand, coming in after a very decisive win last week, a comfortable victory against Andover, a non-conference rival. 34-10 was the final score in the game for Franklin last week. And really what helped pace Franklin was their defense. It was a low-scoring game getting close to halftime, just a 7-3 score. But Franklin was able to get a big turnover late in the first half. They were able to turn it into points, and they ultimately had 5 turnovers as the game went on, and that allowed the score to really balloon out in Franklin's favor. So Franklin coming in with momentum, Milford looking to grab that first victory of the year, as now the captains meet at midfield right there on the 50-yard line. And for these two teams, this is actually the 3rd season in a row they have played here at Milford High School. Of course, last season they were set to play at Franklin High School, but some field renovations that were taking place during the summer last year ended up bleeding out into the start of the fall sports season, forcing Franklin to play a heavy road schedule through the first part of their year, so they had to come here to Milford. And so now for the 3rd straight year, these two teams will meet up here on the Milford gridiron. It's been a 1-1 record in this series between these two teams over the last couple of seasons. Milford broke up a 20-year losing streak to Franklin 2 seasons ago, back during the 2016 campaign, with a decisive victory over Franklin, with the Panthers then returning here to Milford last season, serving as the home team, and they were able to eke out a victory, a game that Milford did lead at halftime, but Franklin was able to walk away with a victory. So these two teams have each enjoyed some success against one another over the last couple of seasons, both with young and up-and-coming head coaches. Of course, Anthony Vazakis now in his 2nd year at the helm for the Scarlet Hawks. Ian Bain on the other side, the head coach for Franklin, both doing very good jobs with these programs. As now the two sides go through the coin toss, it appears that Franklin has won the coin toss. They have elected to defer to the second half, so Milford will start this game on offense. And an opportunity for this offense to get off to a better start than what they saw last week. We'll see ultimately how Coach Vazakis deploys the offense. It was nothing but Colby Perez under center last week, and so we will see if we get any of Ryan Pearl and the War package in this Week 2 matchup with Franklin, or if they will go with the spread offense yet again. A lot of excitement again here at the Milford football field as the Scarlet Hawks get set to take on the Franklin Panthers. The two teams getting pumped up on the field. We'll have the national anthem, and then we will be back, and it'll be time for football, and we're happy to bring it to you all night long right here on Milford TV. before kickoff here at Milford High School. Milford will receive the football after Franklin won the toss and elected to defer. Milford will look to move the football from left to right across their home playing surface. And Franklin now lines up for the kick. Milford in their home reds, Franklin in their traveling whites. And the kick in the air, sent off by Cody Trotton of Franklin. Now the ball momentarily fumbled back around the 10-yard line for Milford. Now a flag comes in. Multiple flags come in as Milford breaks free along the far sideline, still traveling to the 40 before finally pushed out, but 3 different flags stream out onto the field.
2 flags on the field.
And the return man for the Scarlet Hawks was Hugo Lopes. It was Luke Rosa last week who ended up muffing a punt return that resulted in Attleboro taking over possession inside the Milford 20. And so another difficult reception on special teams for Milford, something they are going to look to clean up here in this game. And so the flag going against the Scarlet Hawks, so this is going to give them a long field here to start against a Franklin defense that was stingy last week, allowed just 10 points to Andover High School. And the flag was for an illegal block on the Scarlet Hawks, so that pushes them back to their own 8-yard line. So 92 yards ahead of them here on their opening drive. And already Milford in the shotgun formation, and a low snap, and just able to grab onto it is Colby Perez, and now the ball stripped loose into right on the goal line. It appears it did not go into the end zone, but Franklin able to eventually muscle that ball away from Colby Perez, and what a disastrous start for the Scarlet Hawks. First the bobbled kick reception, and then a low snap. Perez couldn't hold on to it. Franklin able to recover, and now right on the doorstep of their first score of the night, just 20 seconds in, and Franklin will take over at the Milford 1-yard line. So the last thing the Scarlet Hawks wanted to see was more difficulty holding on to the football, and now they've already seen 2 examples of it within the first 20 seconds of this first quarter. And now quickly on first down, the handoff goes to Jack Nally. The Milford defense ready. And Nally is swarmed, and now the ball is loose. Milford falls on it. Will they say that Franklin was down? We have not seen a signal that Milford has recovered. And there is the signal now. The referee makes it official, so it is Milford football. How about this for a start? So now the fumble on the Franklin side when they were gifted field position at the Milford 1-yard line. The Milford defense with a punishing hit, the ball squirting loose, and Milford able to recover back at their own 15-yard line. So it ends up no harm, no foul, as Milford will have a chance to come back out on offense with better field position than when they started a moment ago. So pandemonium here in the opening minute of this first quarter. Another low snap, this time direct to Chappelle Feaster, who's trying to find some space on the near sideline, but he gets wrestled down. Able to get it outside of the 20. Plenty of activity here as we are still just about a minute into play. Hard to catch your breath here. A lot of the fans just coming to their seats. They've already had a chance to see quite a bit. Second down and 4. And now another direct snap to Chappelle Feaster, and he is brought down right at the 20. So that'll be a loss. So some more tricks up Milford's sleeve here on offense. We've seen some direct snaps to Feaster. Perez now at the sideline getting the play call from head coach Anthony Vazakis, and now will relay it to the huddle. It was a loss of 1 yard on that running play to Feaster. He was everywhere in the game last week, in the running game, in the passing game, and making some good plays on defense as well, a jack of all trades, as Pires now claps the hands out of the shotgun. He'll roll out to his right, has some time, targeting the near sideline. And they will say that that catch was hauled in. Feaster able to make an athletic catch and somehow drag those feet before he went out of bounds. And so that will move the chains. The first down of the night for the Scarlet Hawks with 8 minutes and 55 seconds to go. And now again, we'll see Colby Pires split out wide to the far side with Feaster under center. And he'll run it himself. Now trying to force his way close to the 40, and Franklin now closes in. So seeing some Wildcat out of Milford here in this first series. So again, we got used to seeing multiple targets under center from Milford last season as the offense would slide back and forth from the spread offense to the war package with Pires manning the spread and Ryan Pearl the war package, but we have not seen any of the war sets so far in this season. Now again, it's Feaster who will take the snap, runs it directly up the middle past the 35-yard line. He's shy of the first. So Milford will face another third down with under 8 minutes to play in the first quarter. Nose of the football spotted right at the Milford 39-yard line. Pires now on the sideline as Milford now huddles up, so we'll see if it's Feaster again who takes the snap. The officials calling the timeout now to take the measurement. And so it'll be third down and very short. Less than a yard for the Scarlet Hawks.
4-yard gain on the play. Brings up third down and 1.
Week 2 here in the high school football season, and quite a start here tonight. We've already seen multiple turnovers, one on each side, and Milford now facing their second third down of this drive now with just inches to go. And now the Hawks break the huddle. And it looks like now we will see the war package for the first time. Pearl under center, he'll keep it himself, trying to get that first down yardage on the keeper, and indeed he does, as they will mark him down just outside the 40-yard line. And Pearl will stay out there now to set the offense for the next play. So right now, Milford doing a lot of shifting around of offensive sets here through the first couple of plays of this drive. Here's Pearl now. And Milford with nowhere to go on the far side of the field. Franklin getting excellent penetration into the backfield. It was Rosa on the carry. And when you think about the personnel that Milford lost to graduation after last season, a lot of the key personnel that they lost was in those skill positions. You think about how much Ryan Pearl and Will Pointer were able to bring to the running game last season. Wide receiver targets Caden Kelly and Joey Everett, of course, came into play in key moments of the season. So Milford trying to get used to some new personnel in those roles. As now Colby Pires is back out there. He'll hand it off up the middle, and Franklin was not fooled. It was Rosa on the carry.
Lucas Rosa, the ball carrier.
Able to get Milford positive yardage. It looks like
4-yard gain on the play.
a 4-yard gain for Rosa. Setting up third down from the Scarlet Hawks 43-yard line. So continuing to chew up clock, but still on their own side of the football field with 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Pires again in the shotgun. Man in motion as Pires rolls to his right. The catch is made. And it's C.J. Sorella with the reception. A short gain down to the 46. And a lot of shifting of personnel now as
3-yard gain on the play. Brings up 4th down and 4.
Milford now with a 4th down and 4 coming up as the clock ticks down to 5 minutes to play. And so we will indeed see a punt here for the Scarlet Hawks, not electing to go for it on 4th and short. The kick drops down at the 20-yard line, and Ryan Pearl getting back there to wrap up the return man. That was number 21 for the Franklin Panthers, Ben Greco, who received the kick and immediately was met by Pearl. And so starting field position for the Panthers now at the 24, so an adventurous start for the Scarlet Hawks with the fumble. It looked like a sure scoring play in the hands of Franklin, but then turning the ball over right back to Milford, but they could not ultimately do anything with it. And now Franklin with their offense back out on the field for the second time after that brief cameo appearance on Milford's side of the field. Taking over with 5 minutes and 1 second to go in this first quarter. And now a quick handoff on 1st down, straight up the middle. And a couple of yards gained before Milford is able to stop the forward progress. Quarterback under center for Franklin right now is Thomas Gasparo, but if you think you've seen some shifting around at that position for Milford, you will see it also for the Franklin Panthers as they flip-flopped last week between Gasparo and also Nick Gordon. Franklin trying to find some stability at that position after Jake Noviello graduated this past spring after serving as a 3-year starting quarterback. Very good quarterback for Franklin over the years as we see another running play on 2nd down. Milford able to bring the back down at about the 32. So it'll be 3rd down and short. Make it 3rd down and 1 for the Panthers. Gasparo still out there, a running back to his right. And they hand it off, and room on the near side for Owen Palmieri, and he's able to get the 1st down and more outside the 40. And a new line of scrimmage now for the Panthers is their own 42-yard line now with 3:40 to play in a fast-moving first quarter. 3 receivers bunched to the far side as Franklin continues to run it. We have not seen a passing play yet from the Panthers. As again, it's Palmieri.
Palmieri on the carry for Franklin.
We saw Jack Nally get the handoff on that goal line play that resulted in the fumble earlier. Nally was very difficult for Milford to deal with in the matchup last season back. Now it's just a junior, so a lot of young talent on this Franklin squad. 2nd and 4 now for the Panthers. Just outside of midfield as Gasparo will now throw a wide open target just to the Milford side of the field, and the pass is complete to Will Davis.
Thomas Gasparo, caught by number 13, Will Davis.
Marked down at the Milford 48, so Franklin now inside Milford territory for the 2nd time.
Milford 48-yard line.
Clock continues to move, close to 2.5 minutes left in this first quarter action. Gasparo still out there. He's been the lone Franklin quarterback that we've seen on this drive. Now fakes the handoff, will throw, and the pass is completed again to Davis, who was brought down just past the 40-yard line.
Gasparo complete to Davis.
Mark him down at the Milford 39, right at
9-yard gain, 2nd down, 1.
Just shy of the 1st down marker, I should say. So 2nd down and a short yard to go. And right now, Franklin's starting to open up the playbook a little bit more. They have Milford guessing, and now the coach is trying to reset the defense for the Scarlet Hawks, in particular in the secondary. As Gasparo now is met in the backfield, and he's brought down. And that is Brendan White with the sack. And White looked to have a few words for Gasparo after the play, and that is just White's style that we have come to know over the last couple of years. He brings nothing but intensity to any sport that he plays, whether he's out on the football field, the basketball court, or the lacrosse field. And so it is now 3rd down for the Panthers. See if they'll be able to bring more pressure on Gasparo on this next play. They send the quick pass into the flat, and Milford able to read it, but a flag comes in.
There is a flag
it's completed to Nally. So the officials get together. The hit came in low on Nally after he made the catch. And so it will be a holding call against Franklin. And now trying to decide if Milford will take the penalty or if they will force 4th down. And so Milford will elect to accept the penalty.
It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay,
and so that will replay the 3rd down now at 3rd and 13.
3rd down and 13.
So Coach Vazakis wanting to give
49.
his team a little more room to work with, not wanting to chance the 4th down and short. Instead pushing Franklin just back onto their side of the field. The ball spotted midway between the 49 and the 50. With the clock now inching towards 30 seconds to play in the opening quarter. 3rd down and 13 for the Panthers. And now timeout is called for on the Milford side. They will want to talk about this next defensive play.
Timeout, Milford.
So no scoring yet in this first quarter, but there has been no lack of drama between Milford and Franklin. Davenport meets Kelly Rex on this first Friday night here at Milford of the season. We'll take the timeout as well. Back with more in just a moment here on Milford TV. Both teams return to the field out of the timeout. Franklin facing a 3rd down and 13 after the holding call on the last play. 33 seconds to go in the first quarter as Thomas Gasparo readies himself for the snap. And dropping back to throw, Milford bringing the pressure, the ball loose. And they will say it is an incomplete pass, so Gasparo, who had both defensive ends closing in, just threw that ball at his lineman's feet for an incomplete pass, and that will set up 4th down and 13 and a likely punt here for the Franklin Panthers. So Franklin looked to be gaining momentum as they crossed into Milford territory, but the Scarlet Hawks defense able to settle down and ultimately force the punt, and it is a very short kick, and it takes a good Milford bounce as it will come back towards the 35-yard line. And a very short punt out of the Panthers will set up field position right at the 35. And so the Milford offense now back out onto the field with 17 seconds to go in the first quarter. Still a scoreless game. And Coach Vazakis right in the middle of the huddle before his team retakes the field. It is Perez who leads that huddle back out onto the field. So Perez ready, he has it back in the backfield. Another low snap, and a quick handoff this time goes to the far sideline. Looks to be a gain of about 3 or 4 for the Hawks on that play, and Milford will now let the final seconds of the first quarter tick down. So that will do it for the first 11 minutes here from Milford High School. No scoring yet, so it is Milford 0 and Franklin 0. The teams will flip the field, and we will be back for the start of the second quarter right after this here on Milford TV. It was a gain of 2 on that final running play of the first quarter for the Scarlet Hawks, setting up 2nd down and 8. As we begin the second quarter, Pires with another handoff and nowhere for Milford to run. And that will drop Milford back 2 yards, so it will be 3rd down and 10. Back out of the huddle, Milford with Brendan White split out wide to the far side. Dan Hammond to the near side as Pires will dump off a quick completion to Chappelle Feaster, who stutter steps, then goes flying in the air as he tried to reach for that 1st down yardage. That was dangerous for Feaster as he ended up taking contact in mid-flight. But he's able to get right to his feet and trot to the sideline. So Feaster okay as Milford now faces 4th down and 2. And they have, once again, Sean Lehane out on the field. And they do also have Ryan Pearl now heading out to the huddle. So Milford, let's see what they do here. Sean Lehane, through his first 3 varsity seasons, of course, has been arguably the top kicker in the state of Massachusetts, but this season also will use his talents in Milford's passing game, being used as a receiver in this season as well as the place kicker. And so after Milford had lined up on offense, now calling for the timeout, their 2nd timeout utilized in this first half. And so again, the 2nd game of the season here for Milford, and for Scarlet Hawks fans, they will not get a whole lot of opportunities to see this Milford team at home prior to the playoffs. This is one of just 3 home games before that Week 7 playoff deadline for the Scarlet Hawks. They'll be home this week and next, facing Franklin here tonight. They will be at home against Canton next Friday. They will then be home again on October 5th for homecoming against Sharon. And that is it before the playoffs are determined. They have road games coming up before then against North Attleboro, Foxborough, and Stoughton. So the Scarlet Hawks wanting to take advantage of their home field advantage while they can. In the meantime, back out of the timeout, and we will now see the punt from Lehane, and a very good kick goes all the way to the 20-yard line, but now a good return on the Franklin side, as now across midfield and finally forced out. I believe that was Ben Greco on the return for Franklin, getting inside Milford territory, so the momentum continues to swing back and forth through this first half. Despite a good kick from Lehane, Milford special teams could not get Greco down, and now it'll be the Panthers right at midfield, so they ruled him pushed out right at midfield. That is where the Panthers will begin. Just over 9 minutes to play in the first half, still looking for our first points. And a direct snap now to Nick Gordon out there now under center, so there is the second quarterback option for Coach Bain. If you're a fan in the stands right now, you simply cannot predict who's going to show up under center for either of these teams. Plenty of options on both sides. As now Gordon hands it off up the middle, and tripped up is the running back. That was Sean Hofferty on the carry.
3-yard gain, 3rd down, 3.
So 3rd down and 3 yards to go, as the clock will now go under 8.5 minutes in the second quarter. Gordon now in the shotgun, a back to his left. And now, after a hesitation on the Franklin side, they will call their first timeout of this first half, stopping the clock with 8 minutes and 11 seconds to go. We are inching closer to halftime, and we are still scoreless between the Milford Scarlet Hawks and the Franklin Panthers here on Milford TV. Third down and short for the Panthers. Receivers bunch to the near side. Now splitting out wide is Davis. And they will hand it off to Palmieri. And Palmieri is stopped, but after he spills forward across the 40-yard line. And that should be good for the first down. And so the officials being deliberate here. It looks like they will call for a measurement. It appeared that Palmieri had more than enough for the first down, but no, they will not call for the measurement. They'll call it 4th and inches. And it looked like early movement on the Milford side on the line of scrimmage. Franklin, meanwhile, throwing on 4th down, and the pass is intercepted. And that looks like Ryan Pearl out there in the secondary, who was able to come down with the football. So Pearl making a big play on special teams earlier in this half, and now with the interception. Ryan Pearl listed at 5'9". He needed every inch of that vertical leap to be able to pull down that pick. And so Franklin, who needed just inches to get the first down, decided to go for the deep ball. A very curious decision for Coach Bain, and it ends up backfiring in a big way as Milford is able to come through with their second turnover of this first half. Milford taking over inside their own 10-yard line with 7 minutes and 44 seconds to go. And Pearl back out there now as the quarterback. Bullies his way forward for a couple of yards. He's able to get 4. The clock running down towards 7 minutes to play as Pearl will stay out there. Coach Vizaka still searching for his best offensive option in this game right now, going with the war package. And now the running play comes to the near side, hurdling over one of his teammates. Was that Hugo Lopes? No, it was Rosa on the carry. Lucas Rosa. And so effective for the first down for Rosa. Sets up first down and 10 with 6:51 to play in the half. And again, Pearl out there on first down. And the handoff goes to Brendan White. White with some blockers now spills across the 25-yard line. So a nice gain for White, 6 yards on that first down carry.
Second down and 4 for Milford at their own 25.
A fast first half continues to take place here, and now we'll have the clock stopped with 6:05 to go. Milford back to the line now in that tight formation. And the give now towards the near side. This time it's Lopes. Lopes a hesitation. Lopes wrestled down, but not before he gets to the 35-yard line and gives Milford more than enough for another first down. And ends up out of bounds, stopping the clock at 5:55 to go.
First and 10, Milford from their own 35-yard line.
And right now, Milford gaining momentum with this grouping out on the field, so Coach Vizakis sticking with it. For Franklin last week, it was turnovers generated by their defense that allowed them to put up a lot of points, especially in the second half, but it has been their offense that has allowed the turnovers here so far. 2 turnovers for Franklin, a turnover for Milford as well. So we've seen a little bit of everything except scoring in this first half. Still zeros in both columns as we come down to the final 5 minutes of the first half. Second down and 7 after that last play for Milford. Now the toss ends up going straight up the middle, down at the 43-yard line.
Lucas Rosa on the carry.
Rose has been shouldering the bulk of the work in the running game through this first half.
Brings up 3rd down and 1 for the Scarlet Hawks.
Milford hurries back to the line on 3rd and 1, and Pearl looks like keeps it himself, trying to muscle his way towards that first down yardage, but he is short. And Coach Vizakis going several paces out onto the field, signaling that his team got the first down, but seeing where the ball was spotted by the officials, it was clearly short.
Brings up 4th down and 1 for Milford.
It'll be 4th down and less than a yard to go.
At the 44-yard line.
The clock under 4 minutes in this second quarter as Pearl will stay out there. And will they keep it in Pearl's hands for a second straight play? And early movement by Franklin. Milford got the Panthers to jump, and now the Hawks will have the first down, and Franklin frustrated. You could see a couple of players slamming their hands to the turf out there after the encroachment call.
Offsides on Franklin is the call. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down for the Scarlet Hawks.
3.5 minutes to go, 3:35 on the clock. It'll be a fresh set of downs for Milford right at midfield. So can the Hawks continue to move the football? It's been a methodical drive so far, but still a long way to go and not a whole lot of clock left. So we'll see if the Hawks open it up a bit. They go back to that Wildcat formation with Chappelle Feaster taking the snap, but Franklin was ready for it, and Feaster is brought down for a huge loss, about a 6-yard loss for Feaster. And they will rule him down. The officials doing Milford a favor there as they ruled Feaster's forward progress was stopped at the 47. So sets up 2nd down and 13 with 2:48 to go. And that will put Colby Perez now on the field. Man in motion, it's Feaster, and he gets the ball in his hands, gets away from one defender, now loses his footing as he tried to cut back towards the middle of the field. Does not have the first down, but able to get a good chunk of yardage back inside Franklin territory. But stayed in bounds, so the clock now marching down towards 2 minutes to go. It'll be 3rd down and 2 from the Franklin 42. Milford still taking their time here. And of course, this is the area of the field where you have to start thinking about that weapon that Milford has on the sidelines in Sean Lehane. think Coach Vizakis would at all hesitate to allow Lehane to try a field goal from this range. But trying to get a little more yardage before then as Milford hands it off, and fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage was Rosa. And so with about 90 seconds left in the half, Milford will face 4th down and 2.
No gain on the play. There's a 4th down and 2 for Milford.
Rosa was able to get back to the line, so officially no gain on that last play as Pires again checks in with his head coach, as now the clock is down nearly to a minute left, as Milford looks like they will run a passing play here on 4th down. So similar to what we saw out of Franklin a moment ago, Pires in trouble. He has to pass towards Chappelle Feaster, who had it in the hands but could not hold on. Feaster tried to run before he secured the catch. He ends up dropping it, and it'll be a turnover on downs. So consecutive drives where we see these two teams elect to go for a pass on 4th and short. And so Franklin will have a chance to possess the football one more time with 51 seconds to go in the half.
1st and 10, Franklin from their own 42.
The Panthers will have it from their own 42. See if Coach Bain takes some chances here. Franklin will have the first possession of the second half. And so it looks like it will be Nick Gordon again taking the snap. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Man in motion, they fake the handoff. Gordon looking to throw, steps up through the rush and completes the pass down inside Milford territory. It's complete all the way down to the Milford 37-yard line. And so Franklin in business.
21-yard gain of the play. 1st and 10, Franklin.
One of the biggest plays on offense we've seen on either side, a 21-yard completion. And now quickly back to the line, looking to throw again is Gordon. He completes it, and the tackle made as Ryan Driscoll hauls it in.
There's a 2nd down for Franklin.
It's a 2nd down and short as Gordon again drops back to throw, has time. Now runs out of it as the pocket collapses, able to stay on his feet long enough to heave it towards the near sideline where it is caught. And a flag comes in at the end of the play.
The pass by Gordon is caught by Davis. There is a flag on the play.
I believe that was Sean Leonard who made the catch, but we'll see what the call is on the penalty. Was there some taunting there for Franklin after the catch? It was hard to tell. Just 8 seconds now to go in this first half. So the officials continuing to communicate with the Franklin sideline. So the receiver stepped out of bounds and then came back in to make the catch. So we replay. Now 3rd down as Gordon will look for the end zone. Has a man open, streaking to the end zone. It's Driscoll, and he is in for the touchdown as time expires in the half. Driscoll raced away from the Milford defense. And so how about that, a crushing blow for Milford right in the final seconds as Franklin is able to put it in. Driscoll with the touchdown reception, and now Franklin lines up for the point after.
Ryan Vickery into the point after attempt.
And the kick away And the kick is good. So Parker Shirvan accentuates this first half.
And that is also the end of the first half.
With the point after, and so Franklin right in the closing seconds able to get themselves on the scoreboard, so the Panthers able to pull ahead of Milford by a score of 7-0. An entertaining first half of football. We will step aside now for halftime festivities here at Milford High School, but if you're joining us here on our live streaming coverage, do not go anywhere. We will have all of the second half action for you in just a few moments. You're watching Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV. Once again, we welcome you back inside the football field here at Milford High School. Tim Coette back with you as we begin second half coverage of this football game between Milford and Franklin. Franklin with the 7-0 lead on the benefit of a touchdown reception from Ryan Driscoll that snuck in just before the half. And now Sean Lehane will kick away a deep kick, booming right towards the goal line. And Franklin will make the catch for the touchback. So it was a very uneven half of football for both of these teams. Both offenses sputtering out of the gates. Milford fumbling a kickoff, then fumbling the first snap on offense, giving Franklin possession at the 1-yard line, but then Franklin with a fumble on their first offensive play gave Milford the ball back. And then ultimately it was a defensive battle through much of the half, a very fast-moving first half. And Franklin able to get the score right as time expired to take the lead, and now out there again on offense, and the rushing play on first down makes it back to the line of scrimmage, maybe ahead for a yard. Franklin attacking from left to right as we begin second half action. Franklin had won the coin toss and elected to defer. And Nick Gordon, who did release that touchdown pass to close out the first half, back out under center again, now looking deep down the far sideline and has a man open. It is Ryan Driscoll again who makes the catch deep inside Milford territory, forced out of bounds at around the Milford 36.
Ball is spotted at the 36-yard
line. Driscoll has all of a sudden become the magic formula for this Franklin offense. A 38-yard reception for Driscoll. Still in the opening minute. They fake the handoff to Palmieri, now throw across the field to Will Davis. Davis, a couple of stutter steps, able to make his way down inside the 30. And down to the 25-yard line.
That play is good for a Franklin first down.
And another first down, and Franklin right now moving the ball at will on this opening possession of the third. Looking to double their lead as Gordon has his receivers spread out wide, 3 receivers to the far side. .9:47 to go in this third quarter as now the snap is off, and Gordon will run with it himself. He gets upended by Ryan Pearl, who has been an absolute standout on defense for Milford tonight. He was able to secure Milford's second turnover of the first half as he picked off Thomas Gasparo on a 4th and inches play. Now able to step up to make the stop, setting up second down. And Palmieri now will get the carry. Owen Palmieri,
the ball carrier,
ahead, looks to be just shy of the first down. About a yard shy, maybe 2. So it will be third down and 1.
16.
Ball spotted all the way down at the Milford 16-yard line. They fake the handoff to Palmieri. Gordon, a wide open field across the middle, now leaves his feet and is eventually brought down, but has the first down, and that sets up first and goal for the Panthers. Down to the 7-yard line, so in the red zone.
Timeout, Milford.
And this forces a timeout for the Scarlet Hawks, as we've seen a couple of breakdowns on defense on this drive for Franklin. So timeout is called for with 8 minutes and 43 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Scarlet Hawks football here on Milford TV. First and goal for the Panthers. A huge reception for Ryan Driscoll is the key to this drive so far. Now on first and goal, the carry by Gordon. He keeps it himself, and he dives into the end zone for the touchdown for Franklin. A 7-yard touchdown run for the quarterback, Nick Gordon. And that puts Franklin up now 13-0 with the point after coming up.
Number 27, Parker Chevron, in for the point after attempt.
So now lined up for the kick once again is number 27, Parker Chevron.
You got it.
And his kick is good.
His kick is good. Try successful.
So for Franklin, they're able to put the ball in the end zone to close out the first half, and that decision to defer to the second half working out beautifully for Coach Ian Bain, as he's able to get the consecutive possessions and the consecutive scores. And now all of a sudden, Franklin enjoying a 14-0 lead over Milford with 8 minutes and 37 seconds still to go here in the third quarter. So Milford really getting punched in the mouth here, coming back out after halftime. And we'll see now if the Milford coaching staff can regroup. The Panthers now line up for the kickoff. Cody Trotton will send the kick
Number
away.
16 to Cody Trotton set the kickoff for Franklin.
Chappelle Feaster, part of the duo that's lined up deep to receive the kick. And they send it to the far side of the field. The catch clean this time for Milford, as now the return man tries to cut back towards the middle of the field, but Franklin able to get there. Hugo Lopes with the kick return.
Hugo Lopes with the return for the Scarlet Hawks. First down and 10, Milford from their own 21-yard line.
So Lopes able to get the ball out to the 21-yard line. That's where the Milford offense will begin. Led by Colby Perez, who puts a man in motion. It's Feaster who gets the carry. Now reverses course back towards the far side of the field. He's able to get a good chunk of yards. Now crosses the first down line before he's eventually brought down by a group of Panther defenders. So Feaster took that carry and then immediately reversed course back towards the far sideline and able to get enough for the first down.
A 12-yard gain on the play. First and 10, Milford from their own 33.
Now on first down, Perez briefly fumbles the snap and then sends a good accurate throw down the field, but it was broken up. Had his man, but the pass incomplete. Perez able to keep his composure despite bobbling that snap. It'll be second down now. Perez took a couple of shots downfield in the game against Attleboro last week. Had Hugo Lopes on what potentially could have been a touchdown catch, but Lopes ended up having the ball knocked away by a good play from the Attleboro secondary. He then tried to connect with Chappelle Feaster in the second half, but just overthrew his target as Feaster had raced well ahead of the defense.
Penalty, replay, second down. That makes it second down and 15 from the 28-yard line.
7 minutes and 37 seconds now left in the third quarter. Milford facing a second down and 15. It's again Feaster in motion. This time Milford able to fool the Franklin defense as Rosa ended up with the ball in his hands. Ended up just about a yard shy of the first down. Nice burst out of Rosa. Still just a junior. Rosa showed a lot of promise in limited action for the football team last season, and also
third down and 1 for Milford.
really impressed for the Scarlet Hawks baseball team this past spring. Emerged as one of the best starting pitchers in the Hawks rotation, so a talented athlete in Luke Rosa. On third down and 1, another low snap. Pira is able to get the handoff away to Rosa, and Rosa is able to just fall across the yard to gain.
And that play is good.
So another first down for Milford, desperate to get on the scoreboard here after seeing Franklin
from their own 43.
Push ahead into a 14-0 lead. And Milford now changing things up with the war package once again after Pires had started to get things going. We now see the shift and a flag coming down in the backfield as the handoff to Lopes goes to the near sideline. So the penalty going against the Scarlet Hawks.
Illegal shift is the call on Milford.
An illegal shift will result in the 10-yard penalty. That pushes them back outside of their own 40-yard line. As the clock comes down
on the play.
Towards 6 minutes to go. I beg your pardon, a 5-yard penalty on that illegal shift. Pires now out there after just a single play run by the war package. Pires looking to throw, and the pass is emphatically swatted down. The pass was intended to Danny Farrell.
Pires falls incomplete.
Franklin was
down by number 2, Nick Gordon of Franklin.
Ready to scoop up that loose ball on the chance that that was a backwards pass.
For the Scarlet Hawks from their own 38-yard line.
5 minutes and 39 seconds to go, as it's now second down and 15. They spread it out wide, an empty backfield for Pires, who now shoots the ball over the middle and just out of the reach of Brendan White.
Pass by Pires falls incomplete.
And White now having some trouble getting back to his feet. And not a good sign at all for Milford, as White maybe just a cramp as he's starting to move a little bit better as his coach comes out to give him a hand, but initially took a couple of tries just to get back to his feet, and now being helped along to the sideline. Not sure if it was a calf issue, maybe something in the ankle, as White went airborne to try and haul in that catch that was a little out in front of the receiver, but it lands incomplete. White now on the sideline, and Milford facing a third down and 15. A couple of positive plays on this drive, but it is stalled out now for Milford, looking to make something happen in a third down and long situation. Three receivers to the near side, and now another penalty that will likely go against the Scarlet Hawks.
False start on Milford.
A false start on the offense will now set up a third down and 20. And so
They'll make it third
Milford
down and
continuing
20
to
for
go in the
Milford
wrong
from their own
direction here.
33.
Third down and 20. Perez ready. Now rolling out, chased as the pass intended for Chappelle Feaster is incomplete.
Pass by Kobe Perez falls incomplete.
It was broken up by
Pass
Jack
was
Nally.
intended for Chappelle Feaster.
And so that will set up fourth
Jack
down
Nally
and
with the pass
15
breakup for
and a
Franklin.
punt. And now it is Chappelle Feaster who is slow to get back to his feet. He is shaken up and looks to be in a good deal of pain, as now he will be attended to on the field. And this will halt play now, an injury timeout. We will take it as well. Things going very much in the wrong direction in all phases from Milford right now. They trail Franklin 14-0 in the third quarter here on Milford TV.
Sean Lehane in punt formation.
So just an absolutely devastating sight for Milford after that last play. More on it in a moment. First, the punt by Lehane. High drifting kick. It's bobbled and eventually reeled in by Franklin, and now still going to get a decent return out past the 40-yard line. Finally brought down at the 42, maybe the 43-yard line, despite the initial drop. And special teams has been a sore spot for Milford here all night long. But meanwhile, back to that last play, Chappelle Feaster was shaken up after the incompletion. Tried to get to his feet, but then collapsed back down to the turf, and he was attended to for several minutes before eventually a group of his teammates came out and actually lifted him off of the field, immobilizing his left leg. And so he is now on the sidelines getting treatment from the training staff. And so in a matter of 2 plays, you saw both Brendan White and Chappelle Feaster both go down to injuries, 2 pivotal players on both sides of the football. Of course, Brendan White, a senior captain, Chappelle Feaster, another senior on this team. The good news is Brendan White is back out on the field, so it was perhaps just a cramp for White, so that is the good news. But the bad news is for Chappelle Feaster, who now tries to get things stretched out on the sidelines, maybe cramping up as well. It was a warmer day here in Milford. It has cooled off now. Comfortable conditions out on the field. This has been a tough physical game, as now Gordon drops back to throw. A flag does come down, and this play will be whistled dead.
Flag on the field.
We have 4 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the third quarter. Franklin now with all the momentum. A false start against the Panthers will push them back 5 yards.
5-yard penalty, replay, second down.
You think back to how the season ended last year for these two teams. Milford was able to make it into the playoffs. That phenomenal showing against Duxbury. In many circles, people feeling that Milford was the better team that deserved the win in that game. A couple of calls not going Milford's way. Franklin ended up missing out on the postseason last year, as the carry on second down by Palmieri gets Franklin a couple. Franklin, it was another rebuilding season. Frustration through most of the year for the Panthers. They came away with just 3 victories overall on the season, missed out on the postseason. But looking
down, 13.
To be much improved so far in these first 2 weeks. They have a lead here. Gordon with some time, looking deep down the field again, looking for Driscoll, who hauls it in. Able to make the back shoulder catch
Pass is complete
before he's eventually forced out of bounds at the Milford 20-yard line, and that connection between Gordon and Driscoll has been lethal tonight. It started right at the close of the first half with that touchdown grab, and he's made a couple of long receptions in this third quarter that set Franklin up with good field position inside Milford territory. So right now, 1st and 10 from the Milford 20. Panthers now looking for a knockout blow in this third quarter. Gordon all kinds of time. Couple of hesitations. Now he'll just pull the ball down and run with it. He's eventually going to get brought down from behind.
Gordon on the keeper.
Keep him in rhythm, Nick. Come on.
So Milford able to stick with their receivers.
5-yard gain on the play.
Was able to get 5 out of it before he was brought down by Dom Schofield.
Second down, 5 from the 15.
Panthers wasting no time on second down and 5. Gordon will run with it. A flag comes in as Gordon gets closed in on by the Milford defense as he approaches the 10. But a holding call against Franklin will negate the positive yardage for the quarterback.
Holding on Franklin is the call.
It's been a busy week of athletic coverage, getting our fall season started here on Milford TV this week. We had coverage of the girls volleyball team back on Wednesday night. Coverage of the Milford football team here tonight. And of course, a busy weekend ahead for Milford TV as we will have the second annual Milford Youth Center Telethon coming up tomorrow from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. live on all of our Milford TV platforms, live on both channels as well as streaming live. So we hope you will check that out and do please donate. All the proceeds going to help the Youth Center develop a music room and multi-purpose media center, a very worthy cause. Now back to action as Gordon is in trouble, but he's still able to get the throw away, but it's eventually bobbled and dropped.
Gordon's pass ball is incomplete.
Pass intended for Matthew Lazarek. So now a third down and 12.
Third down and 12 for Milford. Franklin direction at the 22.
2 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Gordon with a back to his right. Again drops back to throw. Looking towards the end zone. Nobody home, and
pass by Nick Gordon falls incomplete.
Clearly some miscommunication there as he had a receiver open towards the back pylon.
22.
That throw came back towards the middle of the end zone. Nobody home but Scarlet Hawks defenders, and Gordon lucky that throw was not intercepted. And instead now sets up 4th down and 12, where Franklin will just keep the offense on the field. Last time they went for it on 4th down, the result was an interception. Gordon will look to pass. Now he's flushed from the pocket. He races towards the far sideline. He has the 1st down yardage.
Nick Gordon on the keeper.
Milford just could not keep the quarterback contained, despite the play breaking down. Nick Gordon able to rush for the 1st down yardage and set up 1st and goal.
This rush is good for a Franklin 1st down. 1st and 10 Panthers from the Milford 7.
1st and goal from the 7 as the clock winds under 2 minutes to go in the half, or excuse me, in the 3rd quarter, I should say. The Milford defense in need of a big play to turn their luck around. They're able to get a stop in the backfield on Sean Hofferty.
Number 4 is Sean Hofferty, the ball carrier.
So it looks like they'll say that Hofferty was able to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain.
No gain. The 2nd down and goal for Franklin.
There's a packed crowd here on the Milford side of the field, but these fans have not had a whole lot to cheer for, especially in this 3rd quarter. And now it looks like the Franklin side will talk things over.
Franklin.
So 1 minute and 5 seconds remain in this 3rd quarter. It continues to be all Franklin on the field in the 2nd half. They lead it 14-0 over Milford here on Milford TV. Second and goal from the 7 for the Panthers. Looking to go up by 3 scores as Gordon will get the carry. He's able to fight through some initial contact, drop down shy of the goal line. So this game unfolding in similar fashion to the game against Attleboro last week for the Scarlet Hawks. In danger again of falling behind 21-7 as they did against the Bombardiers. .22 seconds left to go, a third down and goal as Gordon rolls out looking to pass, pump fakes, now pulls it down, reaches for the goal line as he jumps out of play. He was able to keep that ball inside the pylon, and it's a touchdown for Nick Gordon.
From 5 yards out.
His second rushing touchdown of the game. Again from 7 yards out. He has taken control under center in this game, and he has given now a commanding lead for the Panthers, up 20-0 as they line up for another point after. Here's Chevrant now with the point after attempt. It is good. A flag does come in.
His kick is good. Try successful. And that makes you a score: Franklin 21, Milford 0.
And so the point after is good. The penalty against Milford, it was declined. So a 21-0 score now for the Panthers with 13 seconds left in the third quarter. And Milford now needing to take some chances on offense. A depleted offense now. We've not seen where the training staff is tending to Chappelle Feaster. Well, as a matter of fact, Feaster back out on the field now, getting a look at number 25, heading out to his usual post as a kick returner. So again, very good news. That did not look good with Feaster down on the field for several minutes, carried off by his teammates, but good to continue in this game. Very good news for the Scarlet Hawks. We'll see if the Panthers dare to send the kick his way. And instead, it will be Lopes who hauls it in. He's able to get a good head of steam up the middle across the 30-yard line. And so Milford, with 8 seconds remaining in the third quarter, needing a miracle comeback here, down by 3 scores. So again, just drawing the parallels from last week. It was a scoreless first quarter against Attleboro. The Bombardiers able to get a second quarter touchdown to go in front, but then were really able to take charge in the third quarter, dominating time of possession. They ended up getting their third score in the early stages of the fourth quarter to go up 21-0, as now Pyers is somehow able to get away from initial contact. Now loops a pass as he was wrapped up for good. He's able to avoid the sack, but Pyers taking a couple of hard hits as Franklin was able to get after the quarterback. And that's the last play of this third period. So again, 21-0, a commanding Panthers lead. Milford with 11 minutes left to go to try to mount a comeback. We'll see what they have up their sleeve when we bring you fourth quarter action right after this on Milford TV. Welcome back for the start of the fourth quarter. Milford on 2nd down and 10. Here is able to complete the pass to Feaster. Catch made at the 32.
No gain on the completion. That makes a 3rd down and 10 for Milford from their own 32.
So just a short dump-off pass, no gain officially for Feaster, who ends up setting up. Well, now they will mark forward progress. They'll give Feaster a yard, so 3rd down and 9. So another drive looking to not have much direction for the Scarlet Hawks. Here is now on 3rd down, lofts it down the far sideline, and looked to be a little hesitation out of Lehane. It was a good throw from Perez, but Lehane looked like he stuttered momentarily as he continue that route down the far sideline, and the ball ended up landing just beyond his reach. So 4th down and 9. And you would think Milford has no choice but to go for it here. Scarlet Hawks fans going restless. And meanwhile, they end up calling the penalty on Franklin that's going to allow Milford to get the 1st down. So a huge favor.
Roughing the passer is the call on Franklin.
As it was a roughing the passer call against Franklin, so Milford will take it. As this pushes them close to midfield, gives them a 1st down with 10:02 to play. And Hugo Lopes now gets the handoff, races to the near side, tried to spin around contact, but he's brought down after a gain of just 1.
1 yard gain on the play.
The running game has not really been there for Milford.
From their own 49.
Still a lot more questions than answers offensively for the Scarlet Hawks. They have not been able to find a rhythm in each of these first 2 games. Now on 2nd down and 9, Perez handles the low snap, sends the throw to the near sideline for Chappelle Feaster, but good coverage in the secondary again by Jack Nally, who's been there a couple of times to break up passes on this night.
Broken up by Jack Nally.
So 3rd down and 9 coming up for Milford. Feaster still showing good speed despite
Milford at their own 49.
That scary injury moment earlier in the half. Clock stopped at 9:14 to play as Milford now slowly takes the line. 3rd and 9 from the 48. Perez steps into traffic, sends the throw downfield. It's incomplete.
Ball's incomplete down the sideline.
And now 4th down coming up for the
4th
Hawks.
Down and 9 for Milford from their own 49-yard line.
Brendan White couldn't catch up to that throw. Perez went 16 for 23 for 101 yards last week against Attleboro. Again, he was the quarterback basically from start to finish last week against Attleboro, from what we understand. And meanwhile, on this 4th down and 9, Milford will punt the football. Back to about the 6-yard line, fielded by Nally. And Nally able to get out to the 24-yard line. And so Franklin will take over with 8 minutes and 57 seconds to go, and a couple of fans on the Milford side starting to slowly make their way towards the exits as this game appears to be slipping away from the Scarlet Hawks, in danger of falling to 0-2 on the season. Franklin on 1st and 10. Gordon out there able to bounce to the near sideline, but Milford refuses to let him turn the corner.
Nick Gordon on the keeper.
Was able to get, it's like about 2 yards on the carry. Setting up 2nd down and 8. Did stay in bounds, so the clock now will continue to roll down towards 8.5 minutes to play. .23 now as Franklin now takes the snap. The quick handoff to Nally, who races to the far sideline. Stays on his feet as he gets the 1st down.
Nally on the end around. His carry is good for a Panther first down.
This Milford defense has to be gassed at this point. They have been out on the field a lot in the second half. This next snap will come with less than 8 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. The defense absolutely needing to make some type of big play to give Milford the slimmest of chances to get back into this football game. Very little time remaining, but now Milford allowing a big run up the middle as Sean Hofferty was able to slice right up the gut for the first down yardage.
The play is good for Franklin.
Looking like Franklin has broken Milford's will here in the fourth quarter.
15-yard gain on the play.
A gain of 15 on the ground for Hofferty to take Franklin to midfield. It was the passing game that really opened things up for the Panthers. Again, those huge throws to Ryan Driscoll got this offense firing on all cylinders to build up this comfortable lead, and now going to the ground game to control time of possession here in this fourth quarter, as now we dip under 7 minutes to play. Hofferty getting the carry again.
Shoot it up, shoot it up.
4-yard gain on the play. Second down and 6 for Franklin.
Second down and 6
Milford,
coming up.
46.
The ball spotted between the 46 and 47 yard lines on the Milford side of the field. Gordon from the shotgun will again put it in the chest of Hofferty, who gets stood up
Sean Hofferty, the ball
at the
carrier.
45 and then brought down. That'll set up third down and 5.
Brings up third down and 5 for Franklin from the Milford 45-yard line.
These Milford defensive players really look winded out there. A lot of hands on knees in between these plays. Franklin grinding out these final minutes. Now coming down to 5.5 minutes to go. Now Gordon looking to throw on third down. Again is able to step through the rush and will just pull the football down and run with it, where he gets the first down. And it's brought down for a Franklin first down at about the Milford 32. And another Milford player shaken up after the play. So that'll stop the clock for another injury timeout. 5:22 to go in the fourth quarter. We will take the break. 21-0, Franklin on top of Milford here on Milford TV. Finally set to resume action, another extended injury timeout, and once again it was Chappelle Feaster who was the player down on the field, and for the second time in this half had to be carried off by his teammates. So you have to think that that is going to be the night now for Feaster, especially with this game virtually out of reach for the Scarlet Hawks. So difficult to see Feaster go down and stay down twice in this game. It's been a difficult night all the way around for the Scarlet Hawks, and it was an inauspicious start with the fumble right at the start of the first quarter, but Milford was able to avoid disaster there. They kept the game scoreless for much of the first half, but Franklin really turned momentum with that score at the end of the second quarter just before we reached halftime, and they have not looked back since, of 21-0, closing in on victory with just 4.5 minutes left to go. A second down and 8 coming up for the Panthers, who look to improve to 2-0 on the season. Of course, some big games coming up for both of these teams, as we typically see division games through the first 2 weeks, and then that division schedule picks up, and it picks up in a hurry. As Gordon holds on to it on second down and then slides down.
On the keeper.
Avoiding the hard contact. And it'll be third down with under 4 minutes to play. So for Milford, that first Davenport division game will come against Canton here at home next Friday. For Franklin, they will be on the road for a second straight week, taking on the Mansfield Hornets.
Brings up third down and 3 for Franklin from the Milford 25-yard line.
Two teams on the field here tonight, trending in different directions. Milford will search for a recipe for success on offense in this next week as they prepare for Canton. Now with 3 minutes and 17 seconds to go, Franklin calls the timeout, letting that play clock wind down before calling the quick timeout. Once again, while we have a quick break in the action, we want to remind you that the second annual Milford Youth Center Telethon comes your way tomorrow on Milford TV. The live coverage starts at 3 o'clock. The telethon goes all the way until 9 o'clock, trying to raise funds for that music room and multi-purpose media center over at the Youth Center. So please tune in to Milford TV tomorrow afternoon and donate. On third down, see the pitch to Nally, it looks like.
Sean Hoffey, the ball carrier.
Excuse me, that's Sean Hofferty on the carry, who gets dropped shy of the first down. So fourth down coming up with now less than 3 minutes to play. We'll see if
loss of 1 on the play.
Franklin tries to go for it. Hofferty ended up losing 1 on that carry.
Fourth down and 4 from the 26.
The offense still out there on the field on 4th and 4. We've seen Franklin go 1 for 2 on fourth down conversions in the game. Gordon will throw on fourth down. Rolls to his right, has a man wide open, and the ball in and out of the hands of the intended target.
Gordon is dropped near the sideline.
It was Davis on the far sideline who had a gimme and just did not hang on to it. And so Milford forces the turnover on downs, really a self-inflicted wound for Franklin.
At their own 25.
And it'll give Milford the ball back with just 2 minutes and 19 seconds remaining. It'll be Pires returning to the field. Had a chance to talk to Colby before the season started, and of course that is when he very politely let me know that I was mispronouncing his name throughout the football season last year. So certainly my apologies to Colby.
Lucas Rosa with the carry.
He's a tremendous athlete,
Second down, 1
a three-sport athlete for the Scarlet Hawks, football, basketball, and baseball. Had a great sophomore year last year, looking for more good results here in his junior campaign.
Lucas Rosa, the ball
Rosa runs it up the middle on second down, and he is able to get the first down.
First and 10, Milford from the 40.
For trying to avoid getting shut out, they were narrowly able to avoid that last week against Attleboro with a late score in the fourth quarter. And it's Rosa again getting the carry. He's able to get to the 45-yard line. Stopped there.
5-yard gain on the play. Second down, 5 from the 45.
And now timeout is called for.
Timeout, Milford.
So Milford stretching out the conclusion of this game just a little bit longer with 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. Franklin on the verge of victory, up 21-0. One final timeout. Second down and 5 for the Scarlet Hawks from their own 45. Perez rolls to his right and throws incomplete to the near sideline, looking for Hugo Lopes.
Perez falls incomplete near the sideline. That brings up 3rd down and 5 for Milford.
So 3rd and 5. The clock stopped at 1:04 after the incompletion. Brendan White out wide to the near side. Perez stands in the pocket, delivers it to White,
falls incomplete.
who couldn't hold on to it after getting hit from behind by Ryan Driscoll.
It brings up 4th down and 5 for Milford from their own.
And so now 4th and 5. With 57 seconds left to go as Perez quickly gets the call from his head coach.
Well, we just want to make our boys have a great senior year, something memorable. We just like to show off our school spirit. You know, we're all about the football team. Wanting to get the Jungle fan section hype and into the game.
Just have some fun, man.
Yep.
That's all it's about. Senior year, gotta make a good time.
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks, baby! That ain't it.
So now back to action on a 4th down play. The flag comes in.
Pass interference on Franklin is the call.
Franklin gets called for pass interference, so it gives Milford a little more life on offense with 51 seconds to go.
That will make it 1st down for Milford from the Franklin 49.
The ball now spotted on the Franklin 49. Milford just looking to find a way to put it in the end zone a single time here before the final seconds tick down. That pass completed in the flat to Rosa.
Ball carrier.
A loss of a yard. Just 43 seconds left to go now as the offense continues to have a methodical approach to these final seconds. Been a quick pace to this game overall, though.
At their own 49.
Just before 9 o'clock in the evening with the final seconds about to tick away. Here's Perez now over the middle, looking for Sean Lehane, but it went in and out of his hands, and that has been part of the problem tonight. We've seen Perez deliver some accurate throws, but we've seen some drops, seen some curious routes by these receivers. A lot to be cleaned up in the weeks to come if Milford wants to climb back into the playoff race. Tough to start out the season 0-2, but Milford has overcome slow starts to their season in the past. They will look to do that again here in 2018. Perez now with the pocket collapsing around him. He gets wrapped up.
Kobe Perez is sacked on the play.
And he gets sacked by the Panthers. And that will bring up 4th down as we have just 20 seconds left to go. And will we see one more play run by the Scarlet Hawks offense? Just 10 seconds left now, and Perez now races out onto the field. Just 7 seconds left. He brings the team back to the line. 3 seconds to go. Will they get the playoff? And they will not, as that will be that. A very disappointing performance for the Scarlet Hawks in their home opener here tonight as they fall to the Franklin Panthers by a final score of 21-0. Franklin able to get quality work out of their quarterback, Nick Gordon, who rushed for a couple of scores. Ryan Driscoll with a touchdown reception. And so Franklin improves to 2-0 on the season, and Milford with the loss. They drop to 0-2, and they will look to get back at it here at home next week in a Week 3 matchup against the Canton Bulldogs. We look forward to bringing you that coverage here on Milford TV next week, but until then, big thank you to our crew who is on hand here for the 2018 football season opener. Our camera operators Derek Birchtold, Malcolm Zale, and Kalen Mobilia. And our director Rob O'Keefe, and I am Tim Coet. That final score, one final time, 21-0. Franklin defeats the Milford Scarlet Hawks. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.